Italy kept up their perfect start to the UEFA Nations League on Monday, while France got the better of Belgium and Erling Haaland struck a late winner for Norway against Austria. The Italians built on an impressive win away in France at the weekend as they beat Israel 2-1 in a game played on neutral territory in Budapest due to the security situation in the Middle East. Goals in each half from David Fratesi and Moise Kean were enough for Italy to win in a subdued atmosphere at the Bosik Arena. France beat Belgium 2-0 in Lyon, with Randall Kolo Muani and Elsemain Dembele getting the goals as the home side won despite captain Kylian Mbappe being left out of the starting lineup. Haaland, who drew a blank in Norway's 0-0 draw in Kazakhstan on Friday, showed trademark strength inside the box to hold off his marker and fire in the winner, with the goal given after a long VAR check for a possible offside. 4 games into the new La Liga season, Hansi Flick faces a similar injury dilemma that Xavi dealt with during his time at Barcelona last season. However, there is one major difference. While Xavi's injury troubles did not emerge until October, Flick has been forced to begin his La Liga campaign with a long list of injured players. According to Mundo Deportivo, this has left the German coach managing an average of 5 injured players per match. In contrast, Xavi's team had just 2 injuries on average during the early stages of the season, even though by October he was at times missing up to 8 players from the squad. Harry Kane has set his sights on notching 100 international goals as he prepares to become just the 10th male England player to reach a century of caps against Finland on Tuesday, after winning his 99th cap in a routine 2-0 win over the Republic of Ireland at the Aviva Stadium on Saturday. Kane will lead England out at Wembley as they look to make it 2 Nations League wins from 2 against the Finns. Rodrygo of Brazil believes that Neymar is key to the team going after their 6th FIFA World Cup championship. He's our star, our best player, Rodrygo said in an interview with ESPN. Anyone can see how much he has missed. Having Neymar healthy, which is what we all want, he is in final stages of his recovery. We want him back as soon as possible. Neymar, 32, hasn't played for Brazil since he underwent surgery to repair anterior cruciate ligaments and meniscus injuries in his left knee in November 2023. He suffered the injuries in the 2026 FIFA World Cup South American Football Confederation qualifier game against Uruguay in October 2023. The Chinese Football Association has announced lifeline bans on 43 individuals following a comprehensive investigation into match fixing and corruption in Chinese football. The sweeping sanctions mark one of the most significant crackdowns in the history of the sport in China as the country battles to restore integrity within its domestic leagues. In addition to the lifetime bans, some players and officials received shorter suspensions, particularly those who had relocated to China from abroad to play for lucrative salaries. While specific details regarding these foreign players' involvement were not fully disclosed, their reduced penalties indicate varying degrees of involvement in the scandal. Zheng Xiaopeng emphasized that the investigation revealed not only match fixing and bribery but also ties to extensive online gambling rings that had heavily infiltrated Chinese football over recent years. 3 headline members of the attacking ranks at La Liga giants Real Madrid are set to take to the pitch alongside one another on the international stage in the early hours of Wednesday. Brazil are set to return to action in a little over 24 hours' time in a World Cup qualifying meeting with Paraguay in efforts to ensure a more comfortable result for his side on Wednesday. Dorival Jr., it is understood, is ready to shake up his front line. As per a report from the aforementioned Globo, if there are no unforeseen circumstances, Endrick is set to be introduced to Brazil's tack to face Paraguay. The 18-year-old will be joined by Real Madrid teammates Vinicius and Rodrygo in an all-Blancos front three. Gundogan saw that there were forces within the club nudging him towards the exit door this summer, with the name of unofficial fixer Alejandro Echeverria mentioned. However, he left with disappointed with what he saw in Cambarca. Joan Fonts explains that Gundogan felt Ter Stegen, now the captain of the club, did not raise his voice often enough and kept himself to himself most of the time. Meanwhile, with Lewandowski, the polished striker was not helping the youngsters come through. His complaints to young players during games were well documented last season. If Barcelona came out on the losing side of games, but Lewandowski had scored, Gundogan felt that the 36-year-old was all too content with matters. Xavi has been out injured since November 19, 2023, but a return is expected to happen sometime between October and November. Frankie John has been sidelined since April 21, 2024. He could be back in action between this month and October. Uruguayan international has been out since July 15, 2024. Rajo's return is expected to happen towards the end of 2024. The La Maja forward has been out of action since July 24. The good news is that Fadi returned to group training today and is expected to be back in action this weekend against Girona. Christensen was the first Barcelona to get injured after the season started, having been sidelined since August 24. He could be out of action until 2025. Bernal suffered an ACL injury. His return will likely take place in September 2025 if there are no setbacks. Fermin Lopez suffered a muscle injury. He could return towards the end of September. Arsenal are sweating over the fitness of captain Martin Odegaard after he limped out of Norway's 2-1 Nations League win over Austria on Monday. The Gunners midfielder was left clutching his left ankle after an innocuous tangle with Christoph Baumgartner on the hour mark and was helped off the pitch in tears by teammate Erling Haaland. Odegaard's apparent injury is a further setback for Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, who is already without the suspended Declan Rice for the clash at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The 23-year-old Brazilian was one of the key contributors in Los Blancos' 3 trophies last season, and while he would not have been in contention to win the Ballon d'Or, a place in the top 30 was more than deserved. Rodrygo admitted that he felt very upset at being overlooked for the Ballon d'Or. "I was upset. I think I deserved it. I don't want to belittle the players who are there, but I think I had a place in the 30. It was a surprise. But there's not much I can do. I'm not the one who decides these things," he said. Rodrygo admitted that he is almost used as a wild card at times to fill in any empty spots in attack, which he does not always like, but is a team player often, and just filling the gap that is missing up front. "Is there someone missing there?" Put Rodrygo. "Is there someone missing on the right?" Rodrygo. "Is there someone missing as now 9? Rodrygo. That's it. It may bother me a little, but I'm a team player," he said. Liverpool could be forced into a January transfer battle with Newcastle if the Magpies decide to revive their pursuit of Crystal Palace defender Mark Guehi. The England international was linked with a move to Tyneside all summer, but nothing materialised and he ended up staying at Selhurst Park. Newcastle saw a number of bids rejected by Palace, who were unwilling to settle for anything less than a premium fee. Eagles chairman Steve Parish insisted the Magpies must pay superstar money to sign Guehi following his Euro 2024 heroics with England. Palace are trying to tie Guehi down to a new and improved contract, which is likely to include a release clause of around £70 million. Liverpool, therefore, will be able to bypass club negotiations and steer clear of an auction with Newcastle by matching it. Bayern Munich thought they'd seen the last of Jonathan Tah when the Rekordmeister were unable to get a deal over the line. However, the Bayer Leverkusen defender has not signed a contract extension and will leave upon the expiration of his deal in 2025. Bayern are still there for Jonathan Tah and want to get the deal done for summer 2025 on a free. It will be difficult for other clubs interested to go for Tah because Bayern are the clear favourites. Matthijs has dismissed suggestions that Erik ten Hag was the deciding factor in his transfer to Manchester United. The defender stressed that union with his former head coach was not what drew him to the Premier League. "I'm already settled in Manchester and enjoying myself. The boys are great, everything was handled perfectly. There's also many Dutch guys on the staff. Erik ten Hag is not the only reason I joined United. We're talking about Manchester United here, one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's lots of pressure because the fans are used to things from the past. It's up to us to be as good as possible." Reports emerged claiming that Real Madrid have been closely monitoring the progress of Arsenal and France defender William Saliba. Given the fitness problems that Los Blancos have had in the centre-back department in recent times, coupled with the advancing ages of Antonio Rudiger and David Alaba, it would make sense for them to future-proof the defensive unit. It would take a sum of at least €120 million for Real Madrid or any other club to lure William Saliba away from Arsenal. The report states that apart from the reigning Spanish and European champions, 2 other heavyweights, PSG and Bayern Munich, are also interested in the 23-year-old. Craig Bellamy said that he was proud of earning his first win as Wales head coach after they beat Montenegro 2-1 in weather conditions that the former Liverpool and Manchester City forward described as the worst he had ever encountered. "These are the toughest conditions I've been in. Nothing about coming here has been easy. He could have had a lot of excuses about this trip. The change of venue, the travel here, a bus driver who took his time, the conditions, but sometimes you learn from it." Trent Alexander-Arnold might be willing to take a slight pay cut to join Real Madrid when his current Liverpool deal expires next summer. Florentino Perez wants to add the right back to his team as they look ahead to another blockbuster summer window in 2025. Liverpool are under tremendous pressure as they have yet to present with a new contract offer, especially considering the 25-year-old's current deal expires next summer. Liverpool are reportedly making progress in the background as they have said about discussing details of a new deal for the right back, although there has been no breakthrough in the case.